2 Minute Drill podcast time. Monday night, it's Jim Monahan along with Chris Swendeman. And Chris, this week we have breaking news.
Uh-oh, breaking news to the news desk.
The evil empire is back.
That's right, they are, because the Yankees have figured out something that no other MLB team has, and they're bringing the evil back to the Bombers. Look out, MLB. Here they come.
Now, I'm not just talking about banging all these home runs off of the Brewers or beating up on the Brewers. We're talking about the torpedo bat, which really isn't as new as you might think it is. Giancarlo Stanton used one during the 2024 season, and it was all over spring training this year. And then, of course, the Yankees unveiled it for real over the weekend, and the Brewers just banging out all kinds of home runs. And all of a sudden, everybody is an expert on Major League Baseball rules on bats. But the big thing here is the Brewers pitcher Trevor Megill, who after the game said something to the effect of, "It's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide," meaning any kind of rule violation that the Yankees may or may not have done. So here's the deal, Swendeman. The Yankees are already, they're only a handful of games into the season. The Yankees are already in their opponent's head using a bat that's been around for a while, and it's perfectly legal.
And they didn't have to pay 1 cent in rent to live in their heads. I mean, come on, guys. What are you doing? Is this where we're going to go, using the excuse that it's the bats and it's the Yankees, so they're going to get away with it? Stop. I mean, there are players all over the league that are already using. Francisco Lindor is using one for the Mets. Junior Caminero from the Tampa Bay Rays, he's using one. So what's the excuse, Trevor Megill? Is it just that they're offbeats of the Yankees that are using them? They're getting them from the Bronx. The Bronx are the bat dealers now. I mean, come on, this is just silly.
The bat rule, by the way, is 3.02. And basically, it says that it can't be longer than 42 inches. The thickest part of the diameter has to be 2.61 inches. That's it. It can't be any thicker than that. And it has to be one piece of wood, and you can't have wax or paraffin. There's some other stuff on that.
Right.
And the little cup that some wood bats have, that's in there as well. But that's it. They don't say anything about where the sweet spot of the bat is. So pitchers, you're going to have to start missing a different part of the bat. It's as simple as that. But here's the thing. It's perception versus reality. If you perceive something, then that's the reality. So if you think the Yankees are cheating or have some kind of an advantage, well, then they do, because they're in your head, like you said, rent free.
And you know what? It's not just the Yankees. The Yankees must have passed along their secret to the Royals. How nice of them. Because guess what? Milwaukee, as of Monday, the Royals hung 10 runs on you this earlier today. So clearly it's not just the Yankees. Maybe you guys just stink.
Just figure it out. It's not that simple, hard. It really isn't that hard.
It's not.
Yankees obviously off to a really good start. I know Mets fans were taking it on the chin a little bit when the new guy Soto didn't come through in game one, but he's going to be just fine. We can all just slowly
Deep breath,
breathe in,
breathe
slowly
out,
breathe out,
inhale,
just relax.
exhale.
And Rafael Devers, I'm getting a lot of flack because people know I'm a Red Sox
Oof.
fan. Rafael Devers will be just fine. We're only a handful of games into the season. He will be just fine.
Everybody take a breath. It will be okay. There's a lot of games to go. What did they used to say about? Oh yeah, by the way, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Everybody take a breath.
Not sure how much you are following the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments going on, but we've got a lot of different things that have been happening. And once again, NIL, name, image, likeness, rearing its ugly head, and it's happening on a fairly local basis. Fordham University, my alma mater, well, they have a new basketball coach because they just fired the last one. Iona, New Rochelle, just fired their basketball coach. They got a new one. St. Francis of Pennsylvania just announced after getting blown out in the first round there, the first four, I guess they call
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Well, they're going to be moving from Division One to Division Three. And the reason for all of this happening is these schools cannot compete at the higher level with all of this NIL money. And to stay with my alma mater, Atlantic 10, the conference that they play in, there are multiple schools with NIL budgets north of $2 million.
Right.
There are several more with NIL budgets that are above $1 million. Fordham isn't even close to being in the conversation. And I'm not surprised. I mean, what's the advantage that Fordham has in recruiting? Nice campus? There's lots of nice campuses. New York City, Mecca of the world? Okay, there's lots of places you can go that are meccas of one form or another.
Right.
Southern California is gorgeous year round. The building they
Absolutely.
play in, hey, we play Madison Square Garden every once in a while. We play the Barclays Center once in a while. Oh, and by the way, our gymnasium, well, it's 100 years old. It only holds about
Ooh.
2,800 people. I think Iona holds about the same. So where are these schools going to get this kind of money to compete? And I know Fordham's trying to do it, but there's no way that they're going to be able to compete with the big boys. And if you look at the Final Four, what seeds do we have there, Swendeman?
All number one seeds, Jim, and that is the first time it's happened since 2016.
I, for
So
one, am shocked to find that there's gambling going on there.
I will go get my shocked face right now and come back because, I mean, did you really think teams like Florida, Duke, and all the powerhouses weren't going to be right at the top when we started with this NIL money? I mean, it was a given that this was going to happen. It happened in football. All the big powerhouses were there at the end of the playoff year, and now it's happening in basketball. No one should be surprised by this. And I thought Tom Izzo from Michigan State, who, went very far in the tournament, said it best. The NIL is ruining college basketball. It's ruining the sport because now you just have players only listening to what their parents and their agents tell them to do. And you see it on the court, you see it in the games and the results.
Now, we should point out, you mentioned agent. A college athlete is not allowed to have an agent. He
Right.
or she can have an advisor.
Advisor,
Actually,
right.
an agent. But technically, like, we're being technical here.
Right.
But the NCAA,
Air quotes.
I don't want to say the NCAA is a major problem on its hand. I mean, they make billions of dollars and have for a long time, off the talents
Right.
of these men and women playing these sports.
Right.
And the pendulum has swung the other way. So
Right.
where these men and women who are playing these sports, and you're seeing the same thing in the women's
Oh,
health
absolutely.
bracket, by the way, with the
Right.
top seeds going into their final round here. But you're seeing that. And so the pendulum has swung towards these kids now. Personally, I'm not a fan of it,
No.
but the genie's out of the bottle. And I highly doubt that now that the pendulum has swung this far, I don't know how you could ever get it back to where it was.
I don't think you can. Maybe you can marginalize it somehow, but I don't think they're going to be able to. And I don't think the players are going to allow it. Once you got to this point, like you said, it's the point of no return. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, look at just to use an example, look at how it's changed for the players. Cam Ward, who may be the number one overall pick in the NFL draft this year, quit in the middle of a bowl game, Jim. Once he got his stats, he literally said, I'm out. And at halftime said, I'm done. I'm not playing again. I mean, is this what that should be a red flag for any university at this point, any big program. That there's got to be some kind of balance here, guys. It shifted way too far to the other side.
Speaking of name, image, likeness, how do we capitalize on it? Although with these mugs, I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know that maybe the image and the likeness, but not the look. No, that's definitely not going to work for us.
Well, we'll just try to find a sponsor in the meantime. So the evil empire is back. And the name, image, likeness rules with college sports continues to rear its ugly head. That's the 2-Minute Drill podcast for another week. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe for more. And we will talk to you next Monday.
You got it. See you then, Jim.